Night City is full of shadow deals and sick secrets, and the gig Dirty Biz throws you right into one of the worst. A TV preacher's son is murdered, thug gangs are hiding evidence, and you're asked by fixer Regina Jones to dig the raw tape out. Today I'll walk you through the lore behind the gig, how to complete it, the choices you face, and the moral weight of it all. Let's dive in. The gig starts with Regina Jones contacting V to help out Bryce Stone, the televangelist, whose son was kidnapped and brutally murdered. Now, Bryce Stone is a prominent televangelist of N54. He has a show every Sunday. And in 2077, his 12-year-old son, Bobby Stone, was abducted and subjected to torture until his death by the scavengers. There was a brain dance of the event, and eventually it hit the black market, and it was offered for sale by Gottfrid and Fredrik Persson. Bryce would later put out contact to his old friend Regina to find that raw, unedited version of the brain dance. And that is where the gig comes in. According to the case file, the NCPD dropped the investigation for lack of evidence. Stone found the virtue recording of the murder himself, but it's heavily edited. That's why you need to find the raw, unedited brain dance of the recording. This raw recording should hopefully be able to identify the real killer. Now, this recording should be hidden in the studio of the two XBD Turners, Gottfrid Persson and his son, Fredrik Persson, in the north side of Watson. The studio, however, is heavily guarded by Maelstrom. Gottfrid Persson and his son, Fredrik Persson, have built up this huge, lucrative infrastructure within the Maelstrom gang, and they produce these illegal brain dances, XBDs, featuring real murder scenes. Not only do they produce and refine these brain dances, but they also seem to have some sort of control over the selection and the acquisition of the victims. Some say that Gottfrid's gone way too far, and you can actually find an archived conversation between Gottfrid Persson and Lenny Nero. And Lenny Nero is a dealer of these XBDs, but he realizes that with this brain dance of Bryce Persson's son, he's starting to go a little too far, and he kind of wants out, so he tells him absolutely not. There's also a shard you can find in Little China in Watson between Fredrik Persson and an unknown sender. And this kind of seems like Fredrik is the one taking things a little too far. This unknown sender says he got Fredrik's number from a mutual friend, and he has this unedited raw tape of a celebrity, the televangelist Bryce Persson, and his son's murder. He needs to unload the tape because it's way too hot for him, but he knows that Fredrik Persson has Maelstrom's backing. So they do a deal, and he's going to accept it. Back to the gig, V will need to head north side to Watson to locate Gottfrid and Fredrik's studio, and you'll face two primary entry methods. You can go the front gate, which is heavily secured, or the fence behind the compound, which is to the east, which requires a technical ability of 7 to open and bypass the door. Inside the building, you'll find turrets and surveillance cameras, and if you trigger a turret or an alarm, expect backup. And then from there, you're just gonna have to go in guns blazing. However, the best route to avoid that would be to hack the cameras, disable the turns, and sneak by, if your build allows. Once you've dealt with all the Maelstrom members, you'll be able to find Gottfrid and Fredrik up in their studio in the middle of editing a brain dance, so you'll need to get their attention. You can demand they give it to you, and then Gottfrid will be feigning ignorance, saying they only edit these brain dances and they're not complicit in any murder, they just get them from Maelstrom. Fredrik will begin to say, just give him the BD 9430, which is the number of the brain dance. And at this point, you need to make the decision of if you're just gonna find it yourself, you're gonna kill them, or you're going to let Fredrik actually go and get it for you.
Right before he gets...
What do you think?
Wakey, gentlemen.
What's happening? Security!
Too far away to hear us. Well, let's not do anything rash here. We just tune and sell. We don't scroll.
XBD of a preacher's little boy. Murdered. Ring any bells?
Which preacher?
I just got a fresh batch with boys. No clue who their daddies are. I'm gonna need more.
Bryce Stone, circuit rider on News 54. Son was Bobby Stone, 12 years old when he died.
Are we talking black, white, Chicano? Any identifying marks? Style of execution?
Papa? I think I know the one he wants. BD 9430.
Kindly hand it the fuck over. Now.
All right, please, just relax.
Just take it.
Freddy! Sir?
Papa! Why? Why did you have to kill him?
You guys are creeps. If you think they're sick and twisted like I do, you can kill Gottfrid, and then Fredrik will collapse on the floor and scream, "Papa," and he's so upset, and then you might as well just kill him as well. From there, you can turn around, and behind them in the lockers, you'll find the brain dance that you need. And then you can just leave. Now, that shard that I told you about between Gottfrid and Lenny, you can find on Gottfrid's dead body, so remember to pick that up. As you prepare to leave, there may be some backup maelstromers that come around, but otherwise, just go to the drop point and deposit it before Regina will contact you again. You'll receive 1,390 eddies, 234 XP, and 525 street cred. Now, Dirty Biz is more than just this stealth heist. It's about exploitation, evil content, and a father-son duo making snuff-style BDs of kidnapped kids. While we never know who exactly murdered Bryce Persson's son, if you just take the recording and walk away without killing anyone, then you just retrieved evidence of a grotesque crime and left perpetrators who were complicit in some form alive. Their entire operation will continue on. And if you kill them, well, you become the judge, the jury, and the executioner. The gig raises tough questions of, are you helping justice or are you part of it? The televangelist may be a little slimy in his motives anyway. The perpetrators hide behind crass tech and gang muscle, and while the gang doesn't show us any long-term consequences of letting them live, the emotional weight lingers. Players who spare them report feeling guilty, and those who kill them talk about catharsis. Either way, you're forced to ask, is violence ever the answer when the system fails? V is a mercenary, and he doesn't have to wait for the NCPD to make the final call. That wraps up Dirty Biz, a gig that starts as a simple evidence gathering and ends up as a confrontation with our darkest instincts. In Night City, even the small jobs can leave a mark. Did you grab the tape and leave, or did you wipe out the studio and the monsters inside? Let me know which path you took in the comments below. If this breakdown helped you understand the lore, the choices, and the moral weight behind it, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty deep dives. I'll see you guys next week.